Your POV. It was a normal day today. Nothing of importance happened. You went to your favourite coffee shop to de-stress yourself. The aroma of the brew always seemed to put you at ease. You waited on the line, waiting to order. The same old locals were in front of you. The old man who complains about liberals and reads his paper. The gay guy who always wore pink and called everyone sis. And the basic white chick who kinda just there. As you wait online, you look and see a new barrister behind the counter. You look at him in awe. His rounded facial features, his manly and quite large physique, his large hands covered with gloves. He was perfect. You wonder why such a beautiful creature would be working at a place like this. You just have to get his name. Time seemed to go by fast. It was already your turn to order. He leans a little closer on the counter, separating you two. "Can I take your order?" he asks. You stutter. He sounded like an angel. The tone of his voice was full of pure energy. He sounded quite animated, as if he were a cartoon. "Let me get a milkless cappuccino and a carbless biscuit," you answer. You knew that this moment was your only chance to get closer to him. You may never see him again after this moment. What's your name? I could give you a glowing review," you exclaim. You immediately regret your actions. Glowing review? Jeez, why would you say that, you fucking idiot? He smiles wholesomely at you. "The name's Big Chungus. BC for short. It says it on his name tag." He says while pointing to his name tag on his chest. You would only notice he had been wearing a name tag, which makes sense since the industry standard for coffee shops. "Oh, sorry, I didn't notice." You laugh off your embarrassment. You pay for your coffee and he hands you your receipt. Your hands touch for a split second. You can practically feel the softness of his hands through his gloves. You imagine that they feel strong and furry. "Order number 69? Your coffee is ready," an irrelevant employee calls. "It was your order." You take your coffee and your biscuit to a table by the window. You sit alone with the empty chairs across from you, gazing at the hunky rabbit serving other customers. As you sip your beverage, Big Chungus's post is replaced with someone else. It was probably his break. After a while, you see him walk out of the restricted employee zone. He walks towards you. You sweat a little, getting progressively more nervous the closer he gets. "Hey, do you mind if I sit here?" Chungus asks, while monitoring towards the empty chair. "Holy shit, he wants to sit with you? Ladies and gentlemen, we got him." "Of course you can. I got no one else to sit with." You try to shrug off. Then he sits on the seat. It's as if the world had slowed down for this moment. His thick and large rump lowers towards the chair. You imagine Chungus's beautifully soft and squishy buttocks as they compress the seat. You get a little jealous, wishing you were that seat. You felt a bit naughty for thinking these things. "Sorry this is so sudden, but I couldn't help but notice how gorgeous you are." I had never seen a beauty as a customer. "May I please get your name?" You were in shock. He called you beautiful and asked for your name. You choked on your coffee in surprise. Your face gets red from the blood rushing to your head. Chungus notices you blushing and puts his hand on your cheek. Are you okay? Your face is getting so red," he says in a concerned tone. Of course this doesn't help your mental state. You practically burned the glove off his hands from how hot you were. Literally, you gave Chungus a first-degree burn. "Ouch!" he exclaims. Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry. Here, let me help you." You practically jump out of your seat to see if he's okay. Just then, you trip on the protruding leg of the table. You almost fall on the floor, but Big Chungus catches you before you hit the floor. His stocky arms cradle your head gently. "You need to be more careful, dog. Chungus winks at you. You sit back at the table and catch your breath. You both have a meaningful conversation. It's almost hard to concentrate due to his slick-ass voice. The way his words rolled off the tongue, his voice had a distinctive squeak to it. It gave his voice personality, which you thought was cute. Minutes go by while you enjoy yourself with Big Chungus. My break's about to end. It was nice talking to you. We should meet up again sometime, he said while standing up. I still haven't gotten your name, he says. You forgot about his initials. Oh. My name is Kamnika. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, you reply. Kamnika? That's a wonderful name, my lady. Chungus says while doing a little bow, as if you were royalty. He leaves the table. You sigh in relief. Everything went well. Ideally, actually. You notice at the glimpse of your eye, Big Chungus walking off. You notice his but confident posture. Then your eyes look downwards at this glorious chunky ass. Who got the booty? He got the booty. His burly hips move from side to side as his rear jiggles as B walks off back to work. You know at that moment you scored yourself one hell of a man. You leave the coffee shop satisfied. Today marked a new beginning for you. You had never been good with romance, so all this was new territory for you. Today is the start of the rest of your life with your new love interest, Big Chungus. It's been a day since you've seen your rabbit lover. Every moment you are away from him feels like an agony to you. You can't get the thought of his firm grip catching you out of your head. You reminisce about when Chungus called you beautiful. Most importantly, you wish you had gotten a better view of that ass. It was a long, rainy day at work. Deadlines were due tomorrow. You couldn't focus well. The rain poured heavily against your umbrella. You went to the cafe in hopes of seeing your lover-to-be. When you opened the door, you waited online. The regulars were still there. You tried to take a peek who was at the counter in hopes Chungus was there. He was nowhere to be seen. You panicked. What happened to him? He was just here yesterday. Did he leave the cafe for a more suited job? Or did he leave to another cafe to disassociate with you? You were on the verge of tears on the line. Time passed and it was your turn to order. Can I take your order, Mama? The voice behind the counter said. Where is Big Chungus? You said in a numb tone. You were getting a little heated. How dare this irrelevant asperist call you Mama? Cutesy nicknames were reserved for Chungus and Chungus only. Just then, you realised the man behind the counter looks shockingly familiar. His torn, straight blonde hair, broad shoulders, and pectoral muscles. You then realised the man behind the counter was your mortal enemy, Johnny Bravo. You were enraged by his flirtatious smile. You were crying and screaming in the middle of the cafe. You dropped your umbrella in shock. Hey, Foxy Mama, you smell kind of pretty. Wanna smell me? Hoo-ha! Johnny says while straightening up his shades. May I speak to your manager? You shout. By now everyone in the facility was turned to your direction. Want to see me comb my hair? Really fast? He asked while taking a comb out of his pocket. Just then, the door slams. Open. Lightning strikes and brightens the room. It was Big Chungus, wet from the It was Big Chungus, wet from the precipitation outside. He glares angrily at Johnny Bravo and fiercely struts towards the counter. Carrot in hand, he looks at you with those beautiful cartoonish eyes. I am out for vengeance, Mr. Bravo, he shouts. You infected me with your big gay, now I'm out of a job. The whole cafe gasps in disbelief. You feel the despair emitting from your precious Chungus. He has now the big gay. This won't end well. Johnny looks at the reader. Big Chungus raises his fist at him. He is preparing to square up. You must save Chungus before he tarnishes his name. Chungus, no! You scream while holding him back. He gasps and pauses for a moment. He takes a second to realise his action. He was ready to fight and possibly kill a man in front of his dear beloved. Chungus slowly drops his hand. He looks at you, holding back his tear, looking into your gorgeous and powerful eyes. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Johnny Bravo sighs in relief. Hey, Kamniko, let's get out of here, Doc, he says. Chungus grabs your hand. You forgot your umbrella in the store, but that's the least of your worries now. You both walk out into the rain. The sun is covered by the dark clouds and barely any cars pass by. You two are alone for the first time. You get a little nervous, but you're happy to finally be with him, with his pet whir and his chubby face. You saved me back there, Kamniko. How could I ever repay you? Chungus says while looking into your eyes. The fact that he feels obligated to repay you for merely stopping him from a punch makes you feel a bit unworthy. You don't have to pay me anything. I just had to do what was right. You are not at fault of anything. It was his fault that you have the big gay. You blush and step closer to him. If anything, I shouldn't have stopped you. It would have held him all right. Chungus blushes. He then pulls you closer into a passionate embrace. This is the first time you've ever been this close to him. You're paralysed for a moment, and then you hug back. His distinctive smell of carrot fills your nostrils. It's delightful. Kamniko, Chungus whispers into your ear. You pull away for a second and look at him. He puts a hand under your chin and pulls you in for a kiss. You blush and your eyes open wide. You feel his buck teeth against your mouth. You close your eyes and kiss back, his lips pressed against yours. You hope your kissing abilities were up to par. His tongue then slithers into your mouth in the heat of the moment. Your tongues dances in each other's mouths like a passionate tango. You both pull away. Big Chungus was your first kiss, and it was spectacular. You know, Chungus says in his squeaky yet erotic voice, there is one way to get rid of my big gay. He smirks and his eyebrows twitch. You feel extreme attraction to his suggestive face. Well, how would you do that? You respond in a confused tone. I'd like to take you to my place. Are you available around 9 p.m? Well, shit, Chungus just asked you to come over to his place. What will happen in this Chungus household? How will you get rid of his big gay? Will you finally get a look at this sweet rabbit ass? Find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. It is 8:59 p.m. You have dressed yourself in your finest clothing. You had anticipated this moment for so long. You never thought that you would get so far as to be on Chungus's doorsteps in the night. All you had to do was push the doorbell. What if you disappoint him tonight? What if your gracious look shrivels and he leaves you? So many thoughts are running through your head. Your anxiety creeps up on you and time seems to go by faster. The space-time continuum seems to be crumbling behind you. It's now 9:01. You're late. You realise your tardiness and press the doorbell. Your palms are sweaty, your knees weak, your arms are heavy. The door that lies before you opens. Chungus is there. He is wearing a singular bow tie. He looks incredibly handsome. You feel the tempting energy being emitted from him. So much sexual tension already, and all he did was open the door. Why, hello there, Kamniko. You're looking mighty fine this evening. A little casually late, Doc. He winks and lets you in, like the gentleman he is. Gee willikers, I've actually been waiting outside your door for 3 hours. I was so nervous I couldn't press the doorbell. Ha ha ha. You winced when you said that. How could you tell such a lie? You had only been waiting for 2 hours. You're fine, I promise you. I had actually been watching you through my window for the past 30 minutes. You walk into your lover's dwelling. His house was immaculate. The 4 walls practically sparkled from the freshness. You walk into the dining room. There is a candlelit dinner awaiting the both of you. You couldn't believe it. Did Chungus really set all of this up for you? The thought of it made you excited. You caught yourself one bodacious bunny. You approached the table. Chungus pulls the chair for you, allowing you to sit. You adhere to his sort of request and sit in the chair. He pushes the chair in. You feel his knuckles against the back of your head and pushes the seat in. You feel through his glove a hint of sweat. Was he nervous as well, or was it something else? He takes a seat across the table. Might I say, you look absolutely gorgeous in the dim light dark. You blush a little. Shall we get this dinner started? He claps his hand twice. All of a sudden, monkey butlers in fancy outfits start rushing out from different rooms. You're in awe as you watch. They were holding platters of food. You watch them open the lids to find the delectable meal that you were about to consume. For the appetizers, there is roast carrots with hummus and carrot fries with a mayo dip. For the main course, you had a carrot salad, pot roast with carrots, and a slightly spiced carrot soup. And of course, you couldn't forget the dessert, which was but an exquisite carrot cake. All this carrot was making you overwhelmed. The table looked pretty prestigious. The silverware had intricate patterns engraved into it. The plates weren't just any plates, but china plates. They were filled to the brim with the delicious carrot-based foods. You could clearly tell Chungus was pretty fucking rich. It makes you wonder why a man with just about everything would be working at minimum wage of makeshift jobs. You wanted to ask him. You looked up at Chungus. He was mooring down on the carrot cuisines. You looked happy. You decided to let the question go, but all that did was make you all the more curious. You both partook in friendly conversation for a bit. As the conversation progressed, subject matters became all the more personal. What are you looking for in a romantic partner? Where do you see yourself in the future? Have you ever had cocaine sniffed out of your booty hole? You felt a truly intimate and unbreakable bond with the glorious Chungus. You hope he feels the same way too. Time flies when you're having fun. You both had finished your carrot meals in a nick of time. You didn't want to leave so soon. You were two having a great time. Hey, Kamnika, you know, ever since the day I met you, I felt so many emotions I have never felt before. It's as if I've been liberated. I know this is a bit sudden. This is our first day, but won't you stay a bit longer? You looked him in the eyes. His eyes were shimmering. They were shimmering so bright, it was as if you could see the sun. It burned your retinas. Well, if it's for you, I could stay a bit longer. You order him. Well, I want to take you somewhere. He takes a hold of your hand. He escorts you to a room in his house. You follow behind him. Your eyes begin to look down. You know this was your chance to finally glance at that ass. It's glorious. The absolute unit jiggles as he walks. The mounds are in perfect circular shapes. Your eyes linger at that mass that is in his ass. The two mushy hills that accompany the back and the legs. Chungus looks back at you and turns around. My eyes are up here, Doc. Frick. You both arrive at the room. The door is red and the knob is a shiny gold. You watch as Chungus Kuncha Sama-san Senpai prepares and Sensei opens the door. There is not a single light in the room. The darkness completely engulfed and hardened the room. You can't tell the size of it. Chungus walks in, still clutched onto your hand. You had a bit of a phobia of dark places. The shadows creep on you and give you the chills. You feel uneasy, a bit sick to your stomach. You start to wonder why Chungus hasn't turned on the light yet. At last, he lets go of your hand. You are left in the darkness. Hold up a sec, I'll be right back, Chungus says in an assuring tone. That is when you hear his footsteps trail farther and farther. The darkness paralysed you. You couldn't move a muscle. You were cowering in fear of the dark. Your only saving grace is the memory of Big Chungus, and the light from the door was still open. Chungus approaches the door, and his figure covers the majority of the remaining light. You feel a cold sweat run across your brow. You want to scream, to tell Chungus you cannot handle the dark. The door closes. You start to hyperventilate. The darkness swarms around your body, and it's quite unpleasant. Your body responds in flight or fight mode. You are released of your paralysis. You quickly turn as to look around the room. However, the blackness takes over your vision and you are overwhelmed. You start feeling queasy and you become lighthearted. You reach out for something, anything, but there is no one there. Your knees weaken and you fall, fading into the dark. It is cold and dark. You wake up from a long slumber, dazed and confused. Where am I? What happened? You think to yourself. You find yourself in a cozy bed without any sheets. Your eyes are still adjusting to the darkness, but you can conclude that you're in a smaller room. There's a window to the left of your bed. The curtains are shut. You think to yourself, well, golly gee, perhaps if I open up this curtain, I can get some light in here. As you get out of the bed in your tiresome stupor, you feel the soreness of your back. How long have you been sleeping for? You stand up and walk to the window, tripping over your steps. You open the curtains. It's dark outside. Damn bitch, what time is it? The moonlight penetrates the dark room and you finally come to your senses. You are in the bedroom of your apartment. You suddenly start walking. You don't know exactly where you're going. It's as if you're on autopilot. You walk out into the cool autumn night, feeling the wind against your skin. With only the streetlights illuminating the way, you find yourself walking a familiar path. But you don't exactly remember why. You suddenly remember where you're going. Damn it. It's all that one fucking coffee shop. Then it all comes back to you. The memories all start coming back to you. The coffee, the regulars, it all feels overwhelming. Then you get hit with the thought of him. Yes, it's all coming back to you. Your walk shifts into a speed walk, then a full-on sprint. You don't even know if the shop is open yet, but you need to go there to finally get the closure you've been yearning for after all this time. Your breath grows heavy. You're not a very good runner. After God knows how much running in the darkness, you approach the shop. Nothing has changed since the last time you've seen it. It's quite nostalgic, actually. The lights are surprisingly still on. You check to see a sign. Open 24/7. Has the sign always been there? Either way, that's pretty darn convenient, bro. You open the door. The shop is void of all customers. Quiet. You see a figure behind the customer counter, shrouded in darkness. Hello? Excuse me? You call out the person standing there. There's a long pause. You continue to slowly walk closer. Ah, Kamniko. It's been far too long since your last visit. The person speaks. You stop walking. The voice sounds sort of familiar. Wait, are you? You were cut off. I've been waiting for your return, Kamniko. The figure switches on a light, revealing himself to be Johnny Bravo, your mortal enemy. You remember the fight that almost ruined his reputation. You remember how he gave you your one true love, the big gay. How dare you? What are you doing here? Where is Chungus? You shout him with all your might. Whoa there, mama. There's no need to act all feisty. He puts his hand up, gesturing you to calm down. Don't think I forgot what you did to him. Tears start forming in your eyes. I will never forgive you. Then there was silence. The stupid smile on his face turns into a serious expression. He takes off his shades, looking at you dead in the eyes. Haven't you heard the news, Kamniko? Chungus is gone. He's gone, mama. You choke on your words. It's difficult to process what he just uttered. You start to speak again. What do you mean he's gone? I hate to break it to you, but he passed away not too long ago. No one really knows how, Brava said. You feel the tension in his voice. I heard the ceremony was a melancholic one. Of course I wouldn't know. I wasn't invited. The tears begin to flow out your eyes. It's like an ongoing fountain. You collapse to the ground, falling up onto your knees. As the news sinks in, it gets hard to breathe. Your true soulmate, Chungus, the one who made you feel so special, and the chunkiest of pumps, gone forever. Why wasn't I ever told about this? You try to speak through your sorrow. This whole time he's been on a search for you. Gosh, mama, you would have thought he'd been looking for the Holy Grail, Johnny said. You finally get up. Your sadness turns into a slow burning rage. How do I know I can trust you, huh? How do I know that isn't all your fault, huh? You run up and slam your fist into the counter, looking him dead in the pupils. "What did you do to him, Johnny?" you shriek. "Geez, you were always so quick to put the blame on me. We hadn't spoken since he got fired," he explains. Just then, you feel an overbearing presence in the room. You glance at Johnny. He looks like he feels it too. Rain starts to pour outside. It quickly goes from a drizzle to a thunder. Just then, you both quickly turn to look at the door with anticipation. It slams open, the roars of thunder get louder. A lightning bolt crashes down, and right before your eyes the spirit of Chungus appeared. He looks as glorious as ever. You reach out your hand to him. Chungus. Before you finish your sentence, Johnny grabs a hold of your arm tightly. You scream in fear as he pulls over the back of the counter. "How are you still here? I thought you were dead." Johnny holds you close to him, making you unable to leave his grasp. "Let go of Cam Nico, Doc," Chungus said. You remember how wonderful his voice was? "You know what? Fine," Johnny says as he throws you to the wall. You scream in agony, feeling the pain in your legs. You are unable to stand up. All you can do is listen. Johnny jumps over the counter, landing in a power stance. Chungus advances towards Johnny with bloodlust in his eyes. "Oh, you're approaching me? Instead of running away, you're coming right to me." Chungus taunts at Chungus, smirking. "I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer," Chungus asserted. They both leap towards each other with a punch. Their fists collide together, causing a shockwave of energy to form mate. The furniture in the room is pushed aside from the pure power. As Johnny Bravo goes for a jab, Chungus swiftly blocks it with ease. Then, Johnny comes down and trips Chungus with his legs. He falls to the ground. They both pant in exhaustion. "Is that all you got, coward?" Johnny croaked. "How dare you mock the dead?" Chungus exclaimed while hoisting himself back up. "Now, you will pay." Johnny goes for another punch. Chungus dodges, leaving Johnny vulnerable. As Johnny gets a hold of himself, Chungus sucker punched him in the middle of his face. Bravo's head falls backwards as the gloved hands hoxed him in the nose. When he regained his senses, he put his hand to his face, his nose dripping with blood, and he had a few lost teeth. "My face, my beautiful face!" Bravo fumed with shock and anger. His eyes bulged and twitched. Chungus looked back at him with disgust. "Pathetic," he scoffed. Bravo lets out a war cry as loud as 1,000 shrieks. He charged towards Chungus with a hand in his pocket. As he leaps, he takes his hand out, revealing a switchblade stained black with the blood of those before him. Chungus puts his hand out to defend himself. He is impaled with the knife. "Ha ha ha! What are you going to do now, you bastard?" Johnny laughs. However, he fails to notice that Chungus was barely hurt. The blade seeps into Chungus's glove. Chungus turns around and leaps into the air. It is as if time had slowed down just for this moment. Johnny looks up at his impending doom. He fully realizes that this is the inevitable end. Chungus's ass cheeks fall onto Bravo's face with a massive thud, totally crushing his skull open. The impact of Chungus's colossal ass makes the ground shake. Then there is silence again. You don't know what to feel after that. You hear footsteps coming closer to the counter. Then you see him, the ever so beautiful big Chungus, bruised from the fight. It's as if he was glowing. Your eyes start to water. "Chungus," you softly cry out. He comes close to you and puts a finger on your lips. "Hush now, Kamniko. No one can hurt you now." Chungus picks you up and holds you in his arms. He feels warm and welcoming. He gives you a smile. "We won, Kamniko." You are at a loss of words. I don't know what to say. You start to cry, but these were tears of joy. Chungus leans in once again, placing a tender kiss on your lips. You had forgotten how blissful his kisses were. He pulls away, gazing at you. "Come with me. We can leave this horrid planet. I can take you across billions of galaxies. We can finally be together forever," he proclaims. "What exactly would we go?" you ask. "Anywhere you want, my love," said the handsome rabbit. You take a moment to think about it. It seems scary at first, going off to whoever knows where, but as long as you're with your rabbit lover, you would go to the end of the earth for him. "Yes, Chungus, take me with you," you finally decide. "Very well," said Chungus. You both start to ascend beyond the third dimension. He holds your hand tightly. All your troubles and fears fade to black as you prepare to start with the rest of your eternity with Big Chungus. The end.